All right, so let's go again. Let's go with our picks against the spread. Let's start with the ACC, and we'll do Pittsburgh at number 13, Miami, the team that Clemson just played. Miami coming out minus 10.5. For me, Miami being a favorite in this game, I think Tim Bourret just came out with something that said that don't really go for teams after they play Clemson because they have to give their all against Clemson. I think it was David Hood, actually, not Tim Bourret. But I think teams after playing Clemson are like 8-35. Yeah. And that's straight up, not against the spread. So Pittsburgh is a team that can play people tough. They're not a team that can blow people out. Pittsburgh's got a great defense. Miami's coming off a tough battle in which they couldn't get anything going. Give me Pitt plus the 10.5 to take it. Pitt lost the last two games by 1 point, BC and North Carolina State. So give me Pitt over, or with the points.
Yeah, Pitt is definitely underwhelmed, as they tend to do over the course of the season. They've hurt me in Houston, I think, a couple of times this year already. But the fact of the matter is, like Morgan said, I'm glad you mentioned that because, I mean, you stole it right from me. It's the Clemson hangover, ladies and gentlemen. They played Clemson. They got outdueled. Miami just got completely outclassed. And not only that, they got two guys suspended for the first half out of targeting penalties, two starters on defense. So I'm taking Pitt with the points as well.
I hate Pitt so much. I hate Pitt. And I just, like, every time that I've picked Pitt, they've lost. Every time that I haven't picked Pitt, they've won. So either way, this is just going to be terrible. I'm going to go with everybody else and say Pitt on this pick.
Next game is Liberty minus 3.5 at Syracuse. Now, I have to take Liberty in this case because I'm actually a Liberty student. I'm getting my master's degree, my second master's degree. Don't call me crazy. But yes, I'm getting graphic design degree from Liberty Online. So go Liberty. The Flames. Yeah, go Flames, I guess. Go Flames. So I've also Liberty Mutual. I also picked Syracuse as a home dog last week, and they didn't do me well. So give me Liberty this time. Syracuse, get out of here. Don't need to see you anymore. Liberty to cover the minus 3.5. Let's go back. I don't know if anybody got any of the spread picks. So let's go back through a real quick, brief overview, and you correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but Pittsburgh at number 13, Miami, minus 10.5. Pittsburgh, we all picked. Morgan, Allen, Houston, hammered home. Pittsburgh, plus 10.5. So take that one. We all believe that Miami is going to come off a low after losing to Clemson. Teams are not normally going to do good the week after playing Clemson. So give us Pittsburgh. Next one, Liberty minus 3.5 at Syracuse. Take Liberty
plus 3.5.
Liberty minus 3.5. Syracuse is a home dog, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow, that line has changed big time. Okay, because I looked at it this morning. They were Syracuse was minus 3.
So Syracuse is now.
Yeah, they were. No, you've got it later than I have. This was early morning when I saw it.
Oh, Al,
I saw it when Liberty was favored. I think Liberty was favored the last time I saw it.
3.5 still?
I've got 3.5 on oddshark.com. That's where I'm getting mine. So 3.5. Liberty is the favorite. So Syracuse is the home dog in that game. We all picked Liberty to cover the spread and not take Syracuse. Is that correct? Because last week, Syracuse was the home dog and gave Chase Bryce the win, his first win in a Duke uniform. And so I don't trust Syracuse. I think they're one of the worst teams in the ACC. They already let Duke beat them at home. They don't even have any advantage at the Carrier Dome. So let's move on. Next one, Louisville at number 4, Notre Dame, minus 16. I think we all hammered home there too. So we've got all hammer homes on the game so far. We believe that Louisville can do everything possible to screw up a game, and they only need about 3 minutes to give up 20 points. The spread is 16, so even with 3 minutes left, we still have a chance to cover the spread because they'll give it up. So take Louisville there. We hammered that home. The next one up, this is the one where we're continuing on. This is where we'll pick up, guys. We'll do the round table from here. Duke at North Carolina State -4.5. Are you kidding me with this? North Carolina State has done me right all year. I got to keep going with the Wolfpack. Give me the -4.5 to cover. I think they're better than Duke. Let's ride them until they give us a reason otherwise. Duke just lost to Virginia by what, 18? They lost to Virginia. No, not just lost, but they lost to Virginia by 18, and NC State beat Virginia by 17. So go ahead, give me NC State.
Well, and you said the line was -4?
4.5.
Yeah, I just, this is another one of those lines that smell kind of fishy to me. And I've hit both of these so far that I thought the line was way too low or way too high. I think NC State should be favored by a good bit more than that. I'm taking NC State -4.5.
Agreed. I'm going to take NC State on this one. I think this is going to be a 2-score game.
So we're hammering home that one again as well. Hammer home. We got a bunch back to back here that we're all looking forward to. Now, like I said, this could be good. This could be bad. It all depends. We could all be completely clowns after this weekend. But, I think the plan is they're just going to pick the teams that I pick because they don't want to fall any further back from me. I think that's what the guys are doing. So, I have the winning record currently, or better winning percentage than the other guys. So I think this is their plan. But Allen does go out on a limb every once in a while, and he won with his lone wolf last week. So we'll see what happens. Next one up, Virginia -3 at Wake Forest. Now this one is a home dog. We were 1-1 against the home dogs last week. To me, Wake Forest hasn't played in a while. I think they hadn't played in 2 weeks, maybe. Give me Wake Forest plus the points. They have a good offense. They can hang. They've played 2 really good teams in the ACC, so their stat line as far as total defensive yards given up is not really that accurate because they've played 2 good teams. So when the last team they beat up was Campbell and the Fighting Camels, but give me the +3 at home.
Actually, I'm going to go against conventional wisdom here, and I'm going to go Virginia. I actually think Wake Forest is the smarter pick here. But I'm going to take Virginia. I'm going to take the team that we saw play Clemson and saw play decently against Clemson for a little while and say that they pull one out over here by about 4 or more against Wake. So be a little different, maybe get a lone wolf here, see what happens, see if I can gain a game on you or something. I'll take UVA.
Normally I would agree with Allen on this one, but I don't know what the health of Brennan Armstrong is going to be. I think Wake Forest has actually played very well since playing Clemson. I would have been interested to see what would have happened with them in Notre Dame. But I do think that Wake Forest is going to win this game. It's going to be close. And if Brendan Armstrong isn't healthy for Virginia, that's going to be the main reason why.
All right. So, Al, that makes you our first lone wolf of the night. So he's going on by himself for Virginia. I don't know how I feel about that, Al. I don't know if you're right on that one, but we will see. We will see. Number 5, Tar Heels, -13.5 at Florida State. I mean, come on. Who can't beat Florida State? Is this the steal of the week, or was the NC State game the steal of the week? I don't really know. I think they're both ones that we will get a win out of. UNC, with their running game, with the chat was talking about their defense, with their passing game working well. UNC letting Florida State stay within 13? No way. I would be shocked. North Carolina right now is putting up 506 yards per game on offense. Give me North Carolina to cover the spread.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Florida State, I don't want to say Florida State has found something like they're all of a sudden world beaters or anything, but they did find a little offense against Notre Dame. So I could understand if you wanted to take FSU as the home team here. But yeah, UNC has found its stride on offense. And I think you got to take UNC. They're a dangerous team when it comes to scoring a lot of points. So I think you got to go with the Tar Heels here.
Yep, blowout city. I'm taking UNC.
All right, so we've got another hammer home. All 3 of us picking UNC there. And then chat is also saying over on Facebook, Al, that Brendan Armstrong might be in concussion protocol.
Well, that's what I asked. I asked him if he was confirmed out, and they said they didn't know because obviously that would make me rethink everything if he was out for the game. So I'm reserving the right to change this pick here before the show goes out if we find anything out.
All right,
sure.
Coleman, you got to get in there and tell us what you got. You got to start searching this because we're on live right now. We can't take a break. We got to keep rolling.
Call all your contacts in Virginia.
Yeah, call everyone in Virginia and tell us what's going on there. By the way, even if he is out, all they need to do is throw in another fullback because that's basically what he is. Boston College at number 23, Virginia Tech. This is one that I would normally say, give me Virginia Tech big time. I assume that Boston College was in a rebuilding year, but they've been keeping people close, and not only keeping people close, but also winning games. And Virginia Tech did put up a ton of points against the Tar Heels as well, but never really, I felt like, was in it. And they don't really know what they're doing with their quarterback. They kind of keep going back and forth between Burmeister and Hendon Hooker. They don't really know what the idea is. And again, you don't know how many players are going to play or not. I just don't know much still about Virginia Tech. We do know one thing about Virginia Tech. Khalil Herbert is going to destroy the field. I mean, he can run the ball big time, the transfer from Kansas. But with as good as Boston College is playing on defense and with the fact that they're beating teams better than them, and Walt Deptula told me that watch out for Boston College because they could be the surprise team of the year, and they look like being that team. Because I don't think NC State's really the surprise team of the year because in the ACC, I always said that North Carolina State, the Wolfpack, typically wins 9 games. And so they were going to rebound. Last year was kind of an anomaly year. So I felt like I had a good feeling that the Wolfpack would rebound. I did not have a good feeling that Boston College would kind of jump the way they have been and start out higher than they have been. So give me Boston College. I know it's an away game, fellas. I know, but it's COVID time. Home games aren't the same as they used to be. Give me plus 11 for Boston College.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is you just don't know who Virginia Tech's going to have from week to week and how many is going to be out starter-wise and anything like that. BC's been the surprise team so far. I'm taking BC as well.
I will also take BC. I feel like eventually the COVID kind of like the carousel, the COVID carousel is what we'll call it. The COVID carousel is eventually going to get caught up with Virginia Tech. Boston College seems to have a little bit more as far as, depth, you can say that. I think they also have a little bit more of an identity than Virginia Tech does right now on both sides of the ball. I'm taking Boston College.
All right, so we're basically hammered home every single game except for Virginia at Wake Forest, and that is TBD till the end of the show. Alan has gone ahead and put that clause in, which I didn't know we had the clause, but considering his name's on the show, we'll allow it. Let's go to our best of the week, 5 games that Alan picked. Alan, you start us off down the list with just kind of start us off with your pick, and we'll go around. This time I'm going second. I'm not going to let Houston cheat from you. This time I'll go second after Al. So you start with, I guess, the BYU game, I guess.
Yeah, so I went BYU, Houston. Here, I haven't got to see a lot of these teams play. I know BYU started out the year and they hammered Navy. It was Navy, right? Is that who they played first? I can't remember. We were on air when that game was going on and we kept getting score updates. So they looked really good in that game. Houston's looked good at times as well. I'm taking Houston as the home team. Houston
does look good, but not Houston, the football team. Houston with his new Tiger Sports Shop gear down at the bottom on the screen. That is what looks good. I think BYU definitely looked good at the beginning of the year. You know, they only won by 7 points against San Antonio when they were a 35-point favorite. And I don't know if you told me the spread, but I got it down as -3. So I'm going to take -3, give me BYU to cover, and chalk up last week as just looking ahead against an inferior opponent.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, Alan, but I'm agreeing with Morgan on this one. I'm going to take BYU. Up until last week, they'd been putting up similar offensive numbers, albeit against inferior opponents, as Clemson was, as far as their offensive output and with their point differential and the way they'd been beating opponents. I think that was a blip in the road. UTSA has a very stingy defense. I think they were looking ahead to Houston. Give me BYU plus the points.
All right. So first of all, Morgan, you don't need to give me the spreads. Okay, since obviously my spreads have changed.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, since the Morgan. So give me the spreads, but I'm looking here online. I'm trying to find some stuff about Brennan Armstrong. It says he's day-to-day, could play, could not. How about this? I'll take UVA either way.
Oh, all right.
We'll
Locked it in.
Lock it in as a lone wolf pick.
Drama.
Well, you got 2 lone wolves now. Another 2 lone wolf week for you, Al, because you got Houston as well.
So what do you think about Cincinnati Tulsa? What's the line there?
I've got -3 Cincinnati. And my spreads are as of about 5:30 because I did it right after work.
All right, Cincinnati -3. So Tulsa +3. I had it at 4.5, and I took Tulsa when I picked it. So at +3, I think Tulsa can score. Cincinnati has been pretty good, not quite as impressive as I think their ranking might suggest. I'm going to take Tulsa plus the points here.
Is that me?
Somebody was asking UNC Florida State. Yeah, James, we did talk about UNC Florida State. We all hammered home UNC on that one. The next one you said Cincinnati, number 8, Cincinnati at Tulsa. So Tulsa just knocked off number 11 UCF and snapped their 21-game home win streak. But they were down as much as 18 in the second quarter. So it was a big comeback. UCF actually, their defense has given up 450 yards per game compared to Cincinnati, who has a better defense, only giving up 300 yards per game, which is more along the national average in college football. Better defense, better game. I know it's a road game, but I think Cincinnati is better, and they're becoming better than UCF, better than Memphis. So give me Cincinnati to cover -3 traveling to Tulsa.
I'm going to take Cincinnati as well. I think they have a very stingy defense. They showed that against Army this year. I think Cincinnati is the best team right now in the AAC. Give me Cincinnati.
All right, Kentucky, Tennessee, what you got for the spread there?
I've got Kentucky, Tennessee. I did not write it down. That might be good, Morg, if you would write down the spread. Kentucky, Tennessee -6 right now.
Okay, that's what I have as well. So I really feel like this is going to be my 4th lone wolf pick. I really do. Tennessee usually plays relatively well against Kentucky. Kentucky, I like to bet on Kentucky as an underdog. It usually goes well for me, except for, when they played Auburn earlier this season. And they had opportunities in that game. They just kind of flushed them down the toilet. It was some turnovers there and some weird ones at that. But I don't know. I feel like Tennessee is going to be able to stop them a little bit, because Kentucky's a running team. I feel like Tennessee has a pretty good defensive line and linebackers. It's their secondary that concerns me, but I don't think Kentucky can exploit it well enough. So I'm going to take Tennessee -6 to cover at home.
Okay. I'm actually, I don't know much about either one of these teams other than just seeing kind of the glimpses of Tennessee playing Georgia, and then they got throttled towards the end of the game. I don't know how fourth quarter of a team they are. And so I'm actually going to take the traveling points on this case. I'm going to give me +6 to Kentucky.
I'm going to go with Allen on this one, Tennessee and the points. I think Tennessee's the 3rd best team in the SEC. Jarrett Garantano has actually been improved. They didn't have a bad game up until the fourth quarter in which everything just fell apart for them. The wheels fell off, and Georgia ended up obliterating them. That's just because Georgia is just further ahead than them. Give me Tennessee.
And that was my lone wolf pick of the night. So I'm going with Kentucky and the Wildcats as a lone wolf. We'll see how it works out. But next one up is UCF -3 at Memphis.
All right. Sorry, responding to a comment. So, all right, UCF at Memphis, and what did you say the line was?
-3 for UCF.
UCF is -3. So I'm taking UCF here. I usually ride UCF. I'd like to take Central Florida a lot of the times. Memphis can score. We all know that. But I haven't been as impressed with Memphis as I thought I was going to be this year. UCF did just get beat and kind of shocked the world there, but I'm going to take the Central Florida team as well. I ride them all the time, and they seem to do well for me, so I'm going to take them here.
Marlon Williams will have a great game. Give me UCF -3 against that bad Memphis defense.
Both of these teams are unimpressive, but UCF is the one coming off the loss. Give me UCF in the points.
Final game of the night, number 3, UGA, Georgia, the Bulldogs, traveling to number 2, Alabama and the Crimson Tide, Dabo Swinney's alma mater. Preseason, I picked Georgia for this game. The problem is that Alabama, even though they give up 50, can score 100. So, Al, what do you got?
I think I had a line at 6.5.
I've got it actually right now at -5. Let me triple check here and get you the most recent. Get you guys the most recent stat here. I got it still -6.
-6. Alabama's -6. So, okay. Look, here's the thing. Alabama's defense is not an Alabama defense this year. They have not been good. Matter of fact, they've been downright bad. And, we were talking earlier about Saban getting it fixed. I don't know that he can fix it right now. I don't know that they're in a position to fix it. Georgia is not some, imposing offense that's going to, strike fear in anyone's hearts. But their defense is maybe the best in the country. And I think they're going to be able to keep, their team in any game this year because I think they have that much talent. They got a lot of speed, a lot of aggressiveness on defense. I may like Georgia to win this game outright, so I'm going to take Georgia with the points. You know how much that pains me.
I originally looked back at some of my notes from one of our shows months ago and predicted Alabama to lose to Georgia in this game and be a one-loss team, and Georgia to be undefeated. But I've got to change that mind. I got to change my mind because here's the thing. Again, like I said before, I kind of alluded to my decision. Alabama can give up 50 and score 100. If you're going to tell me, can Alabama also, don't forget, at home and not against a guy who has been on, well, he has been on staff, but not against a guy who's shown that he can, win the big game yet, especially against Alabama. So until Georgia can prove to me they can get over the hump and not be a perennial disappointment, I got to take Alabama, especially at home. Again, this is not a situation where Georgia gets to take advantage of Athens and the non-COVID rules they have there where they just let literally everyone in the stadium. So give me Alabama to it. I mean, I think Alabama's going to score a touchdown more than these guys. The thing is, the factor for me is Mac Jones. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. Mac Jones and Jalen Waddle are the huge factor for me. So give me Alabama and those two guys to shine.
Up until this point, I was considering going with Alabama. I felt like everybody was going to go with Alabama. I wasn't going to pick against them. But I once Alan said it, I feel like I have got to say this too. This Georgia defense is better than anyone that Alabama has faced yet. Mac Jones has been throwing against air for the last 3 weeks. All right. This is going to be the first test. We're really going to talk about Mac Jones for Heisman because he might earn it if he throws like he has, but I don't see that happening. I think he's going to have a very down game. It's going to be put on Najee Harris. I know they're going to try to take Najee Harris away and make Mac Jones beat you trying to throw it downfield. And that's going to be kind of tough considering Georgia's actually got a really good secondary. And if you can't defend the wide receivers of Ole Miss, how are you going to defend George Pickens? How are you going to defend Demetrius Robertson and Trey McKitty and the stall of running backs that Georgia has, even though they've got a high schooler playing quarterback named Stetson Bennett the fourth, whatever his name is. I just have a feeling Georgia's going to win this game. I think Georgia's gonna pull the stunner. And plus, the one thing that Morgan, I know that you said until they do it, who's the one team consistently outside of Clemson to be a thorn in the side and just nearly needing to get over that hump, minus dumb coaching decisions? That's Georgia. Kirby Smart doesn't Kirby Smart this game away. Georgia wins.
Dumb decisions by coaches can last a lifetime. Let's just put it that way. And can ruin your SEC championship games as well. My thing is, I was on top of my couch jumping up and down for that SEC championship game when Georgia came out and just seemed like they were going to destroy Alabama, and then they let me down. And so can't forgive them for that. A lot of other things I can't forgive them about. Alan will tell you about later with their history between Clemson and Georgia. But again, that is our picks against the spread. James, I'm sorry, man. You got a ton of questions about the games. I will make sure to get the highlights out there. So go check out our YouTube or Facebook